Hey everybody, this is Adrian Chenault.
And Tom Chenault, how are you?
And we are really happy that you joined us here on this webinar. So today we are going to talk about how to move conversations that you're having online into an offline conversation where you're able to build more relationship, where you're able to insert more of your personality. And Tom Chenault is truly the king of this.
But I'm kind of frazzled.
Are you?
Yeah, well, I had to take an Uber here.
That's not good.
So Adrian makes me take an Uber in my own town to my office. He won't even drive to my house and pick me up. He's so uninterested in my life. He's not going, "What's going on, Dad?" And he doesn't know that Denise took the key to the Tesla, so I'm stuck at my house. And he goes, "Get down here right away. We got to do this thing." So here I am right now, kind of frazzled. Had to take an Uber. Not that really that difficult. But yes, Adrian, that's the state of today.
Well,
I know
poor
it.
thing.
It's a tough time. These times are tough.
Times are tough.
And so I am like really good at moving conversations off of Facebook, off of Instagram, everywhere else into real conversation, because I don't think conversation exists unless it's spoken. And we can talk about it all the time. Nothing makes me crazier than, have you talked to this guy? Yeah, I talked to him. Then I talked to the guy. Hey, did you talk to this person? No, I didn't talk to him. Well, they told me you talked to him. So I call the person back. Oh, no, I emailed him. No, did he even open it? No, you don't even know. I mean, come on. Why are we so allergic to talking? And if you're 12 and 13 and 14 and you just got your phone and you're downstairs in the basement and your parent, with the phone under the covers and your parents are telling you that you can't talk on the phone, I'll give you that one. But other than everybody else, you're not 12 anymore. Talk to human beings. It is the only way to go. You're using all those social platforms to create communication and interaction with your mouth and your ears.
That's totally right. And just think about how often you're talking to somebody, especially if you're in network marketing or real estate or any of these professions where people are prospecting and getting prospected all the time. And somebody comes out of nowhere and they start talking to you on a messenger or on a text message or whatever it is, and you don't know this person. It's almost impossible to trust somebody until you can at least hear their voice, let alone be able to talk to them on a video or be able to eyeball them, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And you do business with people that you trust. And I hate to break it to you, I've got 14,000 people on just Facebook and on Facebook. Just Facebook. I got 5,000 friends, and then I've got 10,000 followers. I don't know 2,000 of those people, like human being to human being. They all say they're my friends, but we're not friends. I mean, I consider us friends the minute we cross that barrier into spoken word. And maybe I'm old school, but I haven't done bad. I have great relationships with humans. Wherever I go in the world, I post. If you are in this town, I post it on Facebook, I post it on Instagram, I post it on Twitter, all the stuff. And I post. If you're in town, I'm going to San Diego tomorrow. I'm looking for a hotel right this second. I will post tomorrow. It's Tom Chenault. I'm staying at the Marina Marriott. Please call me. Here's my phone number. You can't believe how many fish that conversation catches.
100%. So we want to give you some actionable tips and some strategies about how to do this. And I want to talk about some things that you do that I think are really simple that any of us can do, that you could do today to make yourself not only have more of these conversations that are voice to voice and offline and in person, but that you actually make yourself come across more approachable.
Okay, hold it. Okay, so my Facebook profile. It says, get off Facebook
and call me. Jeez, thanks for killing my setup.
No. I mean, he's giving you all this neuroscience and all this stuff. We are just talking here, and that's what we're doing. So please make it 10 times more simple than that. Pick up the phone and call. And on Facebook, it's just unbelievably exciting because the green light's on. And what does a green light mean when you're driving your car? Do you stop or do you go? You go. So when that green light's on, go and hit that little phone and hit the video thing, because they'll freak out. They'll never turn the camera on. And so you don't have to worry about that. And don't have your camera on if you think you're ugly or you're naked or something like that. But if you think you're quite handsome, leave the camera on. It's unbelievable. You don't have any idea which one I do. Go ahead. Ask Richard Brooke.
All right, so to unpack what just happened, number one, a great thing to do is put your actual phone number on your Facebook profile. Put it in your little About Me section. If you're scared of giving everybody in the world your phone number, get a Google Voice phone number so that it's not the one that, you could burn it if somebody starts harassing you or whatever. But have a phone number there. You are saying, I actually want to connect with you. So that's number one. And then number two, this hack is so good. So what he's talking about, if you open Facebook Messenger, at the very top there, it actually shows you a list of people who are online right now. So it gives you their little picture, and then it's got a little green thing, or it says how long they've been away. But if somebody's got that little green thing, theoretically at least, they are sitting there at their computer, they're looking at their phone, and all of a sudden you pop up and it says, here's Tom Chenault wanting to talk to you. And that just, no one else does that. And so if you've got the guts to do it, and if you actually just take that step to be bold and to initiate a conversation that's voice to voice, you're going to stand out from the crowd instantly.
Yeah, and it's so funny. And the other day it's so great because I hit the green light. So I wake somebody up. They go, why are you calling me? I go, why's your light on? He goes, because I don't go offline. I go, are you sleeping with your computer? And they had to admit that they were. They went to bed with their computer on their chest or something. So they were the one that were humbled, not me. Awesome.
It's perfect.
It works like a charm. And I don't want you to be all intrusive. Don't turn into a robo-dialer. But if you got a relationship with somebody and you're engaged with them in conversation, just have a nice chat. That's all it boils down to.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't have to be long. When you call somebody, if Tom Chenault calls you, you better spit out whatever you had to say to him in a hurry, because he's going to dump you before you know what happened. But the difference between getting that phone call and being able to have a 2 or 3 or 5 minute conversation and hear what's going on in somebody's life and actually take their temperature and have them receive and get to know your personality a little bit versus texting back and forth in endless circles, it's a world of difference, even at 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Yeah, and your speed of follow-up. And I'm doing that now. I'm doing Facebook Lives all the time where I just go in live and people sit there and watch me follow up all day long, and they just can't believe their eyes. And most of the time when I do that on Facebook, I am showing off, because otherwise I'm just going to text you and say I love you or whatever it is. But when I'm doing it on Facebook and I'm live, I want people to realize how crazy happy people are to hear from you.
Yeah. You
don't understand, and you're crazy happy to hear from people. And admit it, we want to be connected. We are addicted to isolation for some crazy reason, and we don't need to be that way. We need to be more connected. It is what the meaning of life is. We want to be more connected.
That's exactly right. And you hear, 5-10 years ago, you would hear people talk about, how important and how powerful it is to send a handwritten note, because nobody gets anything in the mail anymore besides junk mail and bills. The same thing's with phone calls, right? Think about how rare it is for you to get a phone call that doesn't turn out to be somebody trying to scam you or sell you something. I mean, it's like our phones have gone the way of the Postal Service, and that doesn't mean you don't use the phone anymore. What it means is that if you are one of the rare people who calls up and says, I was thinking about you, you are 1 in a million to that person that's on the receiving end of that phone call, and you really stand out and build a relationship as a result.
And I'm proving it all day long. I mean, and here's, for some reason, maybe it's the size of my organization or whatever it is, I come across as a really busy guy, because people all the time go, the first thing they say is, I know how busy you are. And I just laugh at that, because if they knew how busy I'm not, they'd flip out, because no one calls. No one calls anybody. I'm the only one calling. And maybe I'm an unlikable guy, maybe, I don't think so. I just don't think that's a muscle that people have developed anymore. And I think it is a dying art, and I think it's incredibly important that you call people, you talk to them, you document the conversation, and you follow up on that conversation. I mean, it happens to me all day long. People tell me how much they appreciate me having called about something going on in their life.
100%. And so you talked about another thing that you do, and you do it in other cities, but you actually do it in town too. So if you're connecting online with people, but you haven't been able to connect with them in person, or maybe you've only met them once or twice or whatever it is, obviously you can always invite somebody to go and have a cup of coffee, and you should be doing that and connecting if they're in your local area. But we live in Longmont. It's about 45 minutes north of Denver. And when we go down to Denver, we put the word out saying, hey, we're down in Denver, we're going to be at this restaurant, we're going to be wherever it is. and just putting it out there, and then specifically tailoring it to the people that you would be interested in connecting with that are in that area, whether it's a state away, whether it's a country away, or whether it's 45 minutes down the road, and just saying, hey man, I'm going to be in the area of where you live, where you work, whatever, and you ought to come by and say hi. Those sort of things open up this opportunity, and when you get in front of somebody, even just on that social level, the amount of trust that gets built is tremendous.
Look, it's incredible. And once you get good at this, you are overwhelmed with people wanting to get together with you. All of you out there are sitting here going, I don't have any leads. I got to go buy leads. I got to go buy this. I got to listen to this scam artist sell me that. No, you don't. Put it out there that you are approachable, available, likable, talk toable, and you're going to be astounded in no time at all how quickly it all shifts, and you're the most popular person in town. The person that, and I tell this to people all the time, one person in particular, who tells me that she never gets invited anywhere. And I say, when do you invite people places? You have to have friends, you have to be a friend. And you got to generate it, man. I generate friendships well, I think.
Yep.
Tomorrow I'm going to San Diego, and I might not have to go home for a couple of days, and I was telling another guy, if I stay a couple of days, I'm going to look up 25 people that I haven't had a chance to hook up with in a long, long time, just to have a cup of coffee with, because I've got an open window of time in a different city where I have a lot of relationships that I have not given the courtesy or respect to go visit them at the corner and have a cup of coffee. And with this Uber, man, I'm like a master.
Yeah, completely. And so the other thing that I think sometimes comes up for people is they're afraid of coming across presumptuous. They're afraid of somebody getting weird, like what, especially maybe it's an in-person conversation, they're just meeting somebody new, and like, how can I get this person's phone number? How can I, so how do you break through, whether you're initiating the first conversation online, or maybe it's somebody that's more of a stranger that you're actually meeting out and about around town? How do you break through that barrier and get to that place where you're able to connect in that more meaningful way?
Just happened to me this morning. I had a conversation, saw it on Facebook. I wrote a note and said I can answer that question. The guy was named W. Kirby Wright. And I wrote a note, hey, Kirby, long time. I don't even know if I've ever met him before. And I said, a long time, give me a call if you want to talk about this. So this morning I'm in the dentist, and I get a call from Kirby. And he actually called me. Something I said had him call me on Facebook. So I got out of there. He sent me his phone number, said, I really do want to talk to you, because I am approachable and I have knowledge that people want. Be approachable, have knowledge people want.
Yeah.
That fair?
Totally. And I think just simply being totally clear that any question is fair game, asking somebody for their phone number, asking somebody for their email address, just going for it. If it's not weird for you, it won't be weird for them. So learning just to totally break through whatever filter you have in your head about whether I should be asking for that, and just going for it. As long as you have an authentic desire to connect, as long as you have even a shred of rapport already built, you're going to be able to ask that question, as long as you don't look like you're scared to ask the question.
And have you figured out if you're going to sell those shirts or not?
We're working on it. Yes, we're going to sell them.
You're going to sell them for how much?
I don't know yet.
Okay. So if you send Adrian your phone number, I mean, we gave away so many of these shirts, and people are calling right and left trying to get these shirts. Fire your brain, hire your heart, contact mapping on the sleeve. I don't know if they like the contact mapping or they like the shirt. I'm not sure which one it is.
Or the model.
But here is the deal. People are standing in line to get these shirts. You put your phone number in the comment or in a private message. Check that. In a private message and tell me you want the shirt. We're gonna put you at the top of the list, and we're gonna give you a $5 discount.
How cool is that?
That's why you do that. What was that called? Bait. None of you are going to want the shirt. He looks like shit in it, but I guarantee you one thing right now. You think you do. But no. Does that make sense?
That was really hurtful.
That was terrible.
Thank you for that.
Had
really
to be funny.
Example.
I was trying to, because I didn't want to act like I was trying to sell you something. We didn't do this to sell a t-shirt. I was trying to prove a point of phone numbers, creating some bait where people are actually going to say, I want that shirt. I want the $5 discount. How much could it possibly be? And make sure when you put the price up, raise it $5 so I can cover that discount. I'm kidding. I love you guys.
So the other thing that I think is a really good strategy, especially, we spend a lot of this time we're interacting with people, Facebook Messenger, having these kind of conversations online. And as you get to know somebody, there usually comes this point where, like, if you're writing a big long thing back and forth, it starts getting old.
Nauseating.
Waiting for the person to write it back and forth and all this sort of stuff. So when you get that kind of interaction and you're starting to do that, again, that's another great time to just immediately hit that button, and they're going to probably pick up because you're already talking, and just go, hey, I figured rather than us getting carpal tunnel on our thumbs or whatever, it would just be easier to call. And now all of a sudden, again, you've broken through that barrier, you've got that phone call started, and you have moved that relationship one level up that ladder of relatedness in order to build to a stronger connection.
And the good news about what we're trying to train you to do, we're trying to get you to interview 2 people a day. Well, that's what we're trying to do. Talk to 2 people a day. Create a conversation with 2 people a day. At the end of the month, you have 60 people on your list. At the end of the year, you've got a lot more than that. I can't multiply 60 times 12. He can. So 720. So here's the deal on that. At that point, you're talking to somebody and say, what's your phone number? They say, I don't feel comfortable giving that to you. That's a major tell. Get rid of them. When you've got all kinds of people on your list, that's not going to break your heart. If you've only got one person on your list and they say that to you, you're off the cliff. Somebody tells me that and I go, great, man. Thank you for saving me the time. Next. That's what's so cool about that list.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, as you get good at this, almost nobody's going to say that to you, and the few that ever do, it's going to be water off the rack, right? Because it doesn't matter. And if somebody is that constrained that they're not willing to give you a phone number, clearly it's probably not a conversation that's really going anywhere. And so just getting into that rhythm of connecting with people, you're going to have a very high rate of success in terms of developing a relationship to the point where you're able to have a real conversation. And those that don't, it's clearly their problem, not yours.
And I just looked on my follow-up app, and I've got over 50 follow-ups to do, like serious behind 50 people. So having to chase people to talk to me is absolutely not in the cards. Where I am sorting as fast as I can for the outcome that I want, whether it be sobriety, whether it be personal, whether it be business. And I've got the ability to do that because I've got so many people in my pipeline. That's what I want for you guys.
That's exactly right. And so really what it comes down to is building this habit of having a volume of conversations that you're having on a consistent basis. So we're encouraging you to have those 2 conversations at least on a daily basis, where you're actually bringing new people into your pipeline, that you're actually out there connecting, whether that's prospecting online, whether that's building connections out in your community, whatever that looks like, that you're having these conversations, that you're moving those conversations using that coffee shop interview, which is on our website, contactmapping.com, which we give you for free, using that coffee shop interview as the tool set to ask great questions and get to the heart of who somebody is. And the more you can use the ideas that we're talking about in this webinar to break past the chatting and move into a place where you're getting voice to voice, where you're getting eye to eye on video, and then ultimately getting face to face in person, that is, you're going to be able to move relationships so much faster, and you're going to be able to figure out who is really looking for you and who you can really serve and who's not. And you're going to be able to do that sorting faster and more effectively because of using those tools.
And you want to be thinking, and this is the first time this has come out of my mouth, so I don't know if it makes sense. You want to be thinking about close or closure all the time. So as you're going through this process of all these, you make the connection, you set the follow-up, you follow up, you follow up, you follow up. You're working toward close or closure. If this person isn't going to be your friend, if they're not going to be interested in what you're interested in, you've got to get closure there. And during that entire process that you're working, make sure you're working towards some sort of close. And again, I don't know what that is, whether it's emotional, whether it's financial, whatever it is. I want you people having an outcome planned on every conversation that you've got. You haven't got time to be the most popular person in the room. This isn't what that's about. I want you creating outcomes that make your life better. whether it be financial, whether it be sobriety, whatever it is. And that's what I do all day long. I'll go through my follow-ups and I will see what is going to move my outcome closer to me by going through that list and taking them to close or closure. I want you to pay attention to that because I'll tell you it will work. It makes sense to me. I don't know if it made sense to you, but it did to me.
Yeah, and I think what it comes down to is when he says close, you notice that close doesn't necessarily define as sell them something. It doesn't necessarily define as go into my business. It might be closure is helping them in some other way that is meaningful to them and to you. It might be that closure is saying, hey, it was great to get to know you. I wish you the best, and leaving it there because there's not a need, there's not a connection point, and that's okay. So not every conversation, not every relationship has to go in circles or go on forever. What you're doing is you're finding ways to get really meaningfully connected to everybody that you meet in a short period of time, and then figure out where that's going to go, whether it's going somewhere or nowhere, and either of those things is okay.
Yeah, it is magic, this whole process. And when you get the hang of it, your life is going to change. And you're going to remember everything about people. They're going to start remembering about you because you remembered them. Your life's going to get better. I will guarantee that. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I will guarantee that. With what? I have no idea. I will refund your loneliness, your isolation, everything else if this doesn't work. But I am going to tell you, it has made my life so fulfilled, so great, and it can be the same thing for you.
That's exactly right. So we're going to close it with this. We want to talk to you. So we want to put our money where our mouth is. So you can call me anytime. My number is 303-332-7458. My name's Adrian. Again, I'm the CEO of
Is that your new Google? Is that your new Google
That's not
Voice
even
number?
a Google Voice. So
No.
if you guys start stalking me, I'm going to have to really figure something out.
Yeah, what's your number again?
303-332-7458.
And my phone number is everywhere. I mean, I have it tattooed on my chest. I'm not taking off my shirt. 720-840-7222. And we're just going to talk. You will never get sold something by me. Of that, I promise you. You may buy something from me because I enrolled you into the possibility of something that you really want from me, but I'm not going to sell it to you. I promise you. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.